Hello everyone, I'm Mike from the Masters of the Code, and in today's video I will be talking about Debian Linux change root environment on Android devices, like I promised in the preview video. Also, please click the subscribe button if it's red, so it means you haven't already subscribed, because you will get notifications about my future videos, and also that video will have continuation in the next ones. Also, check links below, because I will give you a link to the tutorial how to root your device with Magisk. I won't be covering it here, like I said in the preview video, because it's rather easy and I want to cover some more advanced stuff here. Also, you will have links to scripts and resources that I use in that tutorial, so you will be able to do the same things yourself. Also, I will give you links for some good Amazon offer for devices that I use, and by going to that links to Amazon and buying something, not only devices that I recommend, you will greatly contribute to my channel, so I will have more resources and I will be able to produce even better videos in the future. I will give you in that Amazon links devices which I use, like I said. So for example, I will give you links for Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus there. And why this device is so great? Because for me, I can use two SIM cards simultaneously with my micro SD card using some software patch, but it's possible. I will show you that also in the future videos, how to do that. And also I have headphone jack, great camera, great screen, it's waterproof, so it has all features that I need, and I couldn't find any other device to do the same things better, despite of course the price, which is higher than for the other devices. Also, you will have links for the NAS devices there. For example, I use the DS918 Plus device, and also I give you the link for the NAS devices because I think the Docker stuff and sharing stuff is much easier to do on the NAS devices, more convenient than using, for example, Linux Way. I have used Linux Way before also, but I switched to the NAS device recently, and I think it's really better and will save you a lot of time for configuration, the obvious stuff like sharing or write array, and a lot of other stuff. Also, we will have a link for router I use. It will be Asus 5300, and the router is important because you will have great speed using Wi-Fi and sending files from your NAS device to your phone and backward, and also between your other devices, so it will work great. I, for example, have great speeds sending files from my NAS device to my phone, like 7 to 10 megabytes per second, which is really great. And also I use other devices in the same time on my network, so yes, it saves a lot of time during tests also. So now I will tell you what is required to proceed with this tutorial. So you will need either Synology NAS or other NAS device, or some Linux system with Docker configured. You will also need a rooted Android device, and the best option here is to use Magisk. And also you will need BusyBox installed, because BusyBox is needed by scripts that I use here. And what is the outcome, what you will get after configuration? You will get complete Debian change root environment with some basic packages like SSHD, Samba and Screen installed. You will have SSHD and Samba configured to share internal SD card, and if you use external SD card, it will also be shared. And also you will get other scripts deployed here, and those scripts will be needed to, for example, start that change root environment and turn on that services like SSHD and Samba more convenient way. And also I will show you how you can combine it with Termux application. You will have also link below that video, and you have Termux widgets, which will allow you to easily click on the desktop of your phone for starting change root environment, stopping it, and also for starting stopping SSHD, also the same for Samba service. So you will be able to use it in the convenient way. Okay, so let's get started. First, if you are using NAS device, you should go to your NAS device administration panel and check that you have some folder already shared. In my case, I have base shared, and I have Android-Linux-change root here. And inside that folder, we will generate that image by a script. So for now, I can delete it. And also, I have the second resource here. So that archive we will be sending to our Android device later also for the second stage of change root configuration. So it should be already shared because it's the easiest way to download it at your Android device from the share on the NAS. So if you have other than Synology NAS device, you should also do that exact way. And on the other systems, maybe you are using Docker at Linux, you should also configure some share directory here. Also, the directory will be mapped in Docker container, so it should be created either way. And when we have that covered, so we can log in through SSH to our NAS. Also, it's worth mentioning that I'm using virtual DSM here, which is really great feature of Synology NAS devices. You can create virtual environment working exactly the same as your ordinary NAS device, and you can do some tests, some other stuff there without affecting the base system. So it's really great feature. It's like virtual machines, but with NAS software. Of course, you can use some ordinary virtual machines also, but here the easiest solution is to virtualize just the NAS itself. Also, we should switch to the root account here, and I will show you that we have as the script the bootstrap conf here, and it's the first script linked below that video also. So now I will tell you a little about configuration options inside that script, which possibly you want to change. First, we have the password for change root environment. So when you will be using SSHD to connect by network to your change root environment directly, you will go to root user, and that is the password. Second password is also for the root account, but for Samba shares, which you will also have configured here automatically. Third variable is just the hostname inside the change root. You can also customize it here easily. Fourth option is the option you can put 1 or 0 here. 1 if you have external SD card on your phone, or you want to share external SD card, because you can have external SD card also, but you will put 0 here because you don't want to share it by default. Next options is for Sshdroid environment image size. I would go for 4 gigabytes. You can put minimum, I think, 2 gigabytes, but it's really the minimum, and 3 or 4 is the best value to start. You can of course resize that file, so adding zeros by dd command in Linux, for example, but the best option is to start with the value, like I said, 3 or 4 gigabytes, because you will have more space, and we will need one for the next videos also, when I will be talking about some scripts for preparing automated patches and other stuff. And the last option is shared volume. So you should put here folder, which is inside the share. So on the Synology device we have a base here, and inside we have Android Linux Sshdroid folder, and that folder is also mapped to the container here. Also, it's worth mentioning that we are using privileged option here, and also some additional capabilities like sysadmin, while we are creating a Docker container. It's needed to be able to use loopback devices inside containers, and also to be able to mount that loopback device inside container. And also here we are preparing some container setup sh script, and if we will move to bottom, we will see that that script is being copied to the container, and then run after the container is started here. So it's the top level script inside the container, and inside that script we are installing some basic packages needed to prepare Sshdroid environment. So it's the bootstrap and other basic packages, and also we are preparing image, like you see. We are initializing it with zeros. We are then mounting the image using the bootstrap for the first stage. Also here you have ARM hard float architecture, which is possibly best choice for Android devices nowadays, but you can also use for example AMD 64 here if you have some unusual device with Android, but which is not using the ARM architecture. And for really old devices you can use some other architecture, not hard close, because it won't work on the really old devices. But by really old I mean some I don't know, 5 years old device, so probably we will use ARM hard float here. We will create some MNT directory inside the Sshdroid also. It will be directory for mounting our SD card and possibly external SD card on the phone. Then we have some script that will be triggered after that image is sent to the Android device, and inside it will run second stage of the bootstrap, because the third stage we can run at any architecture, so you can as me also run it at for example AMD 64 architecture, despite that you preparing a change root environment inside for ARM hardflow. But the second stage wouldn't run at different architecture, so that's why it's separated, and it will be run after sending, like I said, to the Android device itself. Also, in that script we have some basic configurations. It's worth mentioning that the root user, even if it's root user and it's supposed to be able to do anything on the device, for example on the Linux it's true, but on the Android device you will notice that if the root user is not part of those special groups, you won't be able to use for example network, VPN and other stuff. So we are adding the root user to that groups, and also that is also true for a APT user. So that part here, without that part, you won't be able to install new packages using APT, Aptitude, or any other tool on Debian, because the user is not part of the correct group. Also, we are adding some basic repositories here, also multimedia repository here, additional in addition to the basic the bootstrap configuration, and also non-free repository to have access to more packages in the future. Then we have also some init helper here, because we need to run it separately. It's because we want to have those groups assigned, and we can't run it in the same shell, the same bash instance, because it won't work. And especially if in the script we would have to do it manually, and the way here we can just run that whole script and it will work. So it's also interesting way for doing that in bash script also. As you can see, also we are installing some basic packages here in the change root environment. Maybe you don't need all of those packages, but I would recommend installing them, because we will be using them also in the next videos. We are also setting proper locals here and the passwords, and here you can see that we are pushing some base64 encoded script to etc init.t/hostname.sh script. It's the script for configuring hostname when the change root is being started. And you can also copy that part, like ending here, to the console and run, and you will see what's inside the script. You can also review it if you like. Next, we are configuring Samba shares. Also, earlier we are configuring some basic SSH options, and the minimum option here is to allowing the root account to logging through SSH, which is not default one. Okay, so that's it for the script. You can analyze it further, but I won't be talking about it right now in more details. We will just run that script, and on the video I will make it run faster, like 10, maybe 15 times, because it's not very interesting to wait for the outcome, and you you will see that script yourself when you will run it on your device. Now is the time for moving files prepared on the NAS device or other device like Linux device under Docker to our Android device. So for that purpose I will use ES File Explorer. It's a great application for that purpose. Of course you can freely choose other application for that. We should go to network LAN here. We can add new device if we want. I've already added my virtual NAS device here, but you can add it also when you are using it first time. You should only put IP address or DNS name and some description combined with username and password to your share. You can also see my previously added device. So here is the IP address and credentials. I've also put some name displayed here. So we are clicking here, going to base and folder Android-Linux-Chroot. Like I said before, we are selecting those two files, clicking copy option, and then we should go to our SD card, our internal memory. Of course, you can also copy it to your external SD card as you like. But internal memory is faster, so it will be faster to process those files later. And we just click paste here. It will take a while, so I will speed it up for the purpose of that tutorial, so you won't get bored. Also, a second application that will be useful here is Sshdroid. Sshdroid will allow you to log into your Android device remotely through the SSH, so you should start it also. Or you can use other application for SSH if you like, or you can use ADB also for that purpose. And also what will be needed next is a Termux application with some Termux widget add-on, and I will also put links below that video for that. It will be needed for easily accessing scripts to start, stop, and do some other operations on your Sshdroid environment on your phone. Okay, so now we are going to log in to the phone using SSH. So you should get that SSH server on your phone started, and we will log in like that. The user here is it's not needed, so it's for Android it could be any name actually. And for the root account we should switch like that. Okay, and when we are on our Android device, we have that Sshdroid image already deployed on the SD card, as you can see, and also we have other archive deployed. I mean that one with the needed scripts for configuring it. So right now I'm going to unpack that archive. First, maybe we will see what is inside. As you can see, everything is in Sshdroid.codebase folder, so we can extract it, enter that folder. Also, it's worth mentioning that I do that under data/local directory. under my phone. It's good directory for doing stuff like that. And also we will have other files in the directory, so it's good to remember that. So let's get back to our script. We have everything here, and the main script, if we will use less commands to see it, it will configure some stuff for us under our Android phone. You have some variables you can configure here also. First, you have directory at your phone when you will have scripts for managing that change root. So it's storage SD card 0 for me, and change root directory on my SD card. You can change it here as you like. Also, same option as before, you can put 1 or 0 here. It's important because if you don't have external SD card, it won't be mounted automatically under change root environment during start. So you should then use a 0 instead of 1. Of course, also if you don't like use your external SD card here, but only your internal card, you can put 0 here. Next we have path to your external SD card. Actually it's path for my SD cards. Then we have Termux config set to 1, because it will prepare some files needed by Termux widget add-on. So then you will be able to create some shortcuts on your Android desktop easily to manage that change root environment. You can put 0 here, so you still will be able to use those scripts from the applications like Termux, for example, or using SSH to connect to your device. But the most convenient option is to use Termux or other application, SM Manager, for example, to manage it. And the last option is force install all. If you will put 1 here, the script will push all settings to your phone. It just won't check if it have already been configured. It will just paste it and overwrite folders and files. So as you can see here, we have some basic configuration, and we are preparing those additional scripts at SD card here. Of course, you can see that the path is taken from that variable here. Also, worth mentioning is part right here, because when you use Magisk, which is a good choice here, we can push some additional scripts. That one actually. So it will create some additional modes and resources under /data directory. It will be data mounts directory. It will be useful for next videos also, but it also will create some link to your micro SD, and that way the names will be standardized. So you will have storage macro SD folder and, for example, SD card 0 folder, and it won't be dependent on your serial number, because Android from some version in Oreo and Pi, it will use some string dependent on the serial of your SD card. So when you switch SD card for the other SD card, it will be different. And for example, you can have same folder names on both cards, and event board resources. Also, some applications like your music player could depend on some directory, and that way, if you will link it using that method, it won't make a difference. So it's useful. You won't have to add some folders twice that way in other applications, and also you can use it during change root start the same way. You won't have to change that every time. For example, you use other SD card. Also here, as I said, we have creating that additional folder for mounts under data. It will be useful in the video telling about using SMB-NetFS to provide some network shares mounting on Android device without using kernel modules. And also we have some checks if we have right image here, and then we are starting configuration of the base mount script. Is the script for starting, stopping, and accessing the change root environment later. Next, we have some MNT folder in data local creation. So here we create that directory where the change root will be mounted, and also next we have that part for Termux. We will push some files, some scripts here, so we will be able to add some desktop shortcuts later. And of course the script will take care of SE Linux also, so it will restore proper contacts for SE Linux here, and will take care of also for proper file owner and group also, as you can see. And as the last part, it will configure the change root environment. So now I think we can just start it. So it's Android install here. Okay, so after firing it up, as you can see, it configured stuff I mentioned just before, and then it is configuring change root environment itself. I will speed it up also for that video, so you will see outcome right away. Okay, great. So it's configured. As you can see, we have the upper one folder. We have the script for using it here. So for now I can just use the mount option, and now I can also check that we have it mounted under MNT directory. And for just entering that change root from the console, I can use CHR option, and you can see that we are inside the change root environment. Okay, so using Ctrl D I can log out, and for stopping it and mounting we have just umount option. Later I will show you how to do that from the Termux, and really great option to add it as widget to have shortcuts on your Android desktop. And also I will show you how you can trigger those scripts from the console. So in change root folder, if you of course use the default path in the installation script, you will have it in change root folder. You have Debian start, which is equivalent to using that mount option that I've showed you before. So after starting it, we also have script for example, start SSH. Start SSH. Okay, so SSH is started. SSH daemon. Also, we can use Debian start Samba. So it will start Samba daemon also. And how it works? I can go to new console here and try to connect. I don't have to specify port because it run at default SSH port, so it's 22. You can also change it in the configuration inside Chroot, but we will use the default port, and we will use the IP address of the phone. Code 1234, password used in the script. You can also change it, of course. And as you can see, it's accessible by SSH directly. Okay. Also, I will show you that Samba shares also works just out of the box. Using Linux, I can just put it like that. Okay, so I have two shares, and I can go to my external SD card, and I have to use code 1234 password as for SSH, and as you can see, I can access my external SD card, so it works. And after that, we can stop it with the stop option for Samba and also for SSH. Also, it's worth mentioning that if you would use that Debian stop script, it would look for processes that are running inside Chroot using ls-off command, and it would kill those processes. So it would be the same, but with just one script. And you can see it because you can actually check that script using to start and manage Chroot. So maybe I will tell you a little about it. You can analyze it yourself, but I will tell you the base principles here. So you have the source directory here. So it's the path for image with the Chroot. You have the destination directory, as you can see here, and you have of course some basic path here, and the number to the loop device. So you can use a loop device with specified number. So if you use that loop device with 200 number, so like /dev/loop 200, you can use a different number here, of course. You have option to mount some additional resources. So if you want just only internal SD card, you can delete that part, or you can just mount your external SD card, or your for example flash memory connected by USB OTG to your phone. You can also add it here, or other resources. And here you have basic variables which will be passed to the Chroot environment during start and during executing some commands on entering the Chroot. So you have a path, you have also locals here, home directory, user, and terminal. Okay. There is also, like I said, change roots CHR option to enter change roots. You can see it here how it works, and also CHRC option. You can also see it in my scripts on the SD card. So for example, scripts for starting, for example, SSHD, which are using that parameter to just trigger some commands. We can see it here. So it's just inside change roots. It will be service with SSH parameter and of course start, because we like to start SSH service here. Also the same for stopping it and for other services, other stuff. Okay. So that is how we can use the change root environment. And now we will switch to the phone itself, and we will see how we can add those shortcuts for Termux to use that change root environment even more simple way. So on the phone itself, when we like to add those shortcuts, we have to add new widget. We can search for Termux here. Okay. And we have a second one, because we can also add some widget with the list of all our scripts. That is also possible if you like that approach. But I would go for adding just one script here, and we have to enter tasks, because in Termux we have two folders. The parent folder is responsible for scripts that are run in foreground, and the tasks here are run in the background. So for actions like starting a change root and some services, the best way is to use those tasks that will run in background. And for example, for starting environment, it will be Debian start script here. So we can just choose it. And as you can see, we have it here. So I will maybe move it some here. So it's the first shortcut, and with the other shortcuts it's just the same way to create those shortcuts. So for example, for Debian stop, you should use Debian stop script, etc. So that way you can add scripts for other stuff also. So maybe I will show you the scripts for SSH, and the rest you can create yourself. So we will use the SSH here, and maybe also for stopping SSH. Okay, here stop SSH. Okay, and when we have those shortcuts, we can start Termux application on the phone itself. I'm doing that because I want to show you how it works. Okay, so right now we have this change root environment started. So for example, we can stop it from the shortcuts, and then we will see that it's no longer mounted here, so it's stopped. And now, for example, we want to start it again. So I've used this start script, and voila, it's again visible here. Also, we can maybe I will show you using service SSH status command that of course I'm not in the Chroot environment, so it's not not good way of doing that, but and the Chroot environment is already mounted, so yeah, I should enter it, and here we can check that SSH service is not running, as you can see. So now we can start SSH using shortcuts and see that now it's running. Okay, so we are also able to connect to it, and we can use stop to stop it again. So it's not running, as you can see, so it's really convenient. You don't even need to go to that Termux application for that. I'm just using it to show you that. And as you can see, I've also been logged out automatically when I used some shortcuts for stopping Chroot environment also. So as you can see, it's really great. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and once again, don't forget to subscribe my channel to don't miss new videos if you haven't already subscribed it, of course. And also check links below to some Amazon offers, because that way, as I already said, you will contribute to the channel. So I will be able to produce more interesting videos in the future, and I will have more resources for it also. So thank you for watching, and bye.